I'm Debra Meiburg, and I'm here today with Celine Rousseau from Chalkers Crossing winery based in the Hilltops and Tumbarumba in New South Wales, Australia. Celine's a little unique in the Australian winemaking scene because she's French, and she's based herself in Australia, and in fact managed to win a couple of years ago the Qantas Young Winemaker of the Year. So Celine, most Australian winemakers go to France for their adventures and to gain additional winemaking experience, and they're called flying winemakers. But you're kind of flying in reverse. You went the opposite direction.
That's true. It's probably because you know, the wine industry is an international business, and coming from Bordeaux, having spent 6-7 years in Bordeaux, I felt the need to go and travel and learn more about wine and winemaking and other styles of wine, and to really learn about the new world, as we say. At the time when I moved there, I was younger. I was 30 years old, and I think I had the opportunity to that I would never have had in France, to set up a winery from day one, from the beginning, from scratch. There was just vineyards. There was no winery at all. So I had a project to really fit the winery all together with equipment, with crusher, stainless steel tank, etc. In a way that I wanted to.
But this is in a very quiet area. You're 2 hours from Canberra, 3 from Sydney.
Yes.
So what does a girl from Paris do with her time off in a small community?
Oh, that's basically, it's a small community, but there's a lot of grape growers there. There is 700 hectares planted in the Hilltops region, and I spend half my time in Canberra and half in Young, where the winery is based. So, and I do a lot of promotion, marketing, so I'm very often out of the winery. But when I'm there for the vintage, for bottling, and I have to stay there, but I've got friends more in the grape growing business, and it's a small community, but it's very active.
As a winemaker, what's the happiest moment in the winery for you?
I think it's when I became Qantas Young Winemaker of the Year in 2002, because it was the recognition that really the wine industry gave to me, journalists, and the whole wine industry, and I was against some pretty tough candidates. And for me it was a big surprise, because it was just 2 years that the winery was set up, and wine journalists and wine judges like you and Hope, James Halliday, just find my wines in wine shows and gave gold medals and didn't know where it was coming from.
Some shockwaves through the industry. It was a bit of a
shock, and it was a bit of a shock, and I became Australian the same year as well. So everything came in one go.
Was that a coincidence?
It was completely a coincidence. Yes, yes, it was.
So, as a French winemaker who's chosen to base herself in Australia, do you find any advantages or disadvantages in
Not really, you know, we always thought that, you know, the French had this image to be good at winemaking and food, and I think it's just so international winemaking now that if you are from any nationality, and if you are good at what you do, if you got a good palate and you are attached to details at the winery, and you make good styles of wine which fits with you know, with the vineyard, with the terroir in a way, then it's good. Whatever you French or South African or American, or, you know, I don't think it's an advantage.